Hi Taurus, this is your reading for April 2020. This is an extended general forecast for Taurus Sun, Taurus Moon, and Taurus Rising signs. So I'm going to be using the Celtic cross spread today and 2 layers of tarot, both my good tarot and my mini deck of the Rider-Waite here, and then we're going to get the oracle cards as well. 4 oracle decks for you. All right, so let's see what's in store for you guys. Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising for April 2020. What does Taurus need to know for April 2020? So there could be a new direction, new path that you could be taking. We'll see if it shows up in your spread today, guys. Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, April 2020. So just for Taurus, Sun, Taurus, Moon, Taurus, Rising for April 2020. All right, folks, let's get your first layer out. And then we will get our second layer on top. Making sure you can see everything here. Whenever we see 5, it really doesn't matter what element. There's, pardon me, a great potential for growth here. Look at that, 2 5s already. So yeah, I mean, communicative growth is necessary. Could be what's holding something back here. So bottom of the deck energy, we do have a 4 of Pentacles. I'm going to lay this here and I'm going to get our second layer out before we start looking at this in a whole lot of detail. I do want to mention we are dealing with 2 kings with our first layer. So I am going to suggest that the term business opportunities may be something of consideration this month for you. Business opportunities, Taurus. Dealing with a lot of earthy, manifesting, sort of bounty energy. We both have, your Taurus-ruled King of Pentacles over here. We have the Empress back here. Some strict energy, right, sort of focused as the influence or the direction or meaning of your reading today. So let's get our second layer out and dive right in here, folks. There's some more swords. Yeah, I think that communication may be necessary in terms of healing or solving a problem right now. I don't even know if you're going to be able to see eye to eye, however, because it's the hopes and fears position that you there is an imbalance or a miscommunication, disconnection, something like that. We'll get into details in a second, but I'm just looking at what card is going on in which position and what you can look forward to. The Magician sits on top of it, so wow, and you have a lot of really spirited energy at the end of the month. Here you are again, bottom of the deck energy. Another King of Pentacles on top of this 4 of Pentacles. So Taurus, this is, literally speaking, this is exactly you. 4 of Pentacles is just feeling a little bit sort of secure, a little bit wound, a little bit sort of hold up with yourself. You're pretty satisfied. You could be a little bit smug. But they're, generally speaking, even though there's stability here, even though there's security here, there's still a dissatisfaction here. With the 4 of Pentacles, there's this sense of like not having any wiggle room. And as I mentioned, the Taurus-ruled King of Pentacles can be any earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, but technically speaking, kings are fixed energy, so it's Taurus ruled. So I'm going to suggest that this is your energy here, but as bottom of the deck energy, even if you don't identify with this, or if this isn't resonating with you, always watch your moon and rising signs. I always advise that. That can be helpful, some or any, if this isn't resonating. But I feel really strongly this is you. You're fine where you are, but you don't kind of want to move. You don't kind of want to budge. And I'm going to suggest here that there's a little bit of fear involved, that it's more fear-based, that it's more about, could be a sense of who's right, who's wrong. It could be a sense of I don't want to know, I don't want to hear it. It could just be an element of not trusting yourself to deal with something either, but ultimately, you're starting from a good position. Like, you're definitely safe and secure. I would say that your health is on lock. There's nothing really upsetting there. But, you know, especially with the fixed energy on top of the Four of Pentacles, we're looking at someone who's pretty strictly bound to something, okay? Really firmly planted. This is someone who's very, very rooted. If this isn't someone, or if it doesn't represent you, it's the situation, or it's the underlying energy to the situation, right? You're definitely not looking for anything. You're pretty stable and sure, but there's a sense of kind of like, now what, right? So the cards representing the influence on you, or the direction of the reading today, is both the King of Swords and the Six of Swords. Now, these are elementally the same. As you can tell, they're both swords. We are looking at more fixed energy, right? I mentioned the kings are always fixed energy. In this case, this was Aquarius ruled King of Swords. It can technically be any air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. But I'm going to read it in terms of a fixed element. And again, you know, very secure, not going anywhere. You got your heels dug in. So does this person, or this concept, or feeling, or, you know, temperament. More likely than not, this is a temperament, because, and I meant to say not because, but where this is, you know, in the lap of luxury, or in the body, or income, or wealth, this is more of the mind, belief system, or communication. So in terms of your influence or the direction of the reading today, we're looking at, we have to move away from something that isn't serving us anymore. We have to be able to cut something free, set yourself free from something. You need to be able to somehow intellectually or mindfully move away from something that's troubling, right? So the direction of the reading today definitely has to do with communication, okay? If this isn't about anyone else and it's just all about you and there's no one in your life, this is definitely something that you have to take to task for yourself. You're really stable and sure about something, but something's being ignored, okay? Information, a concept, belief system, communication, a perspective. I know there's no hangman here, but I mean, when we're looking at information, we're looking at severity. The King of Swords can be considered a little bit cold. You could be dealing with someone who's cold, or you could be the person who's cold right now with regard to communication. We do have some warm energy though. We do have the Page of Pentacles, and we do have it matched or qualified here by the Eight of Wands. Really gorgeous, especially to have this on top of, you know, this sort of somewhat cold or distant energy, right? The King and the Queen of Swords. I mean, you can trust that they're telling the truth. They're very, very clinical. They won't lead you astray when it comes to evidence, but they can be cold, right? And, you know, this is going to feel awkward to you because the Cups and the Pentacles are compatible. Swords seems a little bit tricky for Pentacles sometimes, but we got to get to the root of this, guys. The obstacles to the direction, or obstacles to this situation, right, is a message of love. Something needs to be communicated here. Just the start of something. Possibly a younger earth sign, okay? Another Taurus or Virgo or Capricorn, or just a child. Someone who's your child, or maybe you're the child, and this has to do with a parent or a grandparent. Communication with a loved one, possibly younger than you, is very important at this time. And this is what it could very easily be doing with. Now, again, Taurus, as I always say, these are general readings. So if you're not resonating, check out your other signs. But obviously, just apply these messages to whatever is going on in your life the way that you see fit. All right, so what is crowning you? Technically, this is your desired aim. This is a likely achievement, right? This is what's crowning. the situation. And there's a lot of healing. There's a lot of heart healing here. We have the star qualifying the Seven of Cups. But it's almost like, which direction? What do we talk about? There's so much going on here. If there is heartache, or if you're holed up in a belief system, or you don't want to hear or discover something new, there could be a round and round sort of like a Ferris wheel type thing going on here. Maybe there's a lot going on in your heart. Maybe there's more than just one thing that needs to be discussed or discovered or healed. I will suggest here that there are probably up to 7 things in your heart that need to be healed, whether it's 7 people, whether it's 7 discussions, or 7 fantasies or feelings. Some of this could even be illusion, right? We are dealing with the mind here very, very strongly. What's going on in your mind is definitely affecting your feeling. I want to mention here as well that we do have the Star card as a major, technically ruled by Aquarius on top, right? Crowning the situational card, which is technically a fixed Aquarius ruled King of Swords. So I would suggest here that you're dealing with an Aquarius individual, someone who is very open about the truth, facts, and evidence, and doesn't really care what you think about it. Can be considered a cold personality, has a lot of healing potential or qualities about them, regardless of those aforementioned qualities. And I want to mention as well that we're dealing with 11th house energy. Aquarius rules the 11th house. We're dealing with larger concepts. This is society. This is groups. This is hive mind. It's the higher mind. It's electricity. It's communication. It's also sudden changes and oddities and eccentricities. So it could just be about trying to understand where someone who isn't exactly like you is coming from. Could be one way to read this. So this isn't too bad, but it is going to help spell out what is going on here in our distant past. Okay, so the foundation to all of this apparently is our 3 of Wands next to our 7 of Pentacles. They are kind of looking at each other as well. I think you had a different plan for yourself, for the direction of this relationship or discussion that kind of got left behind, wasn't watered, wasn't tended to. I think you both had maybe good intentions about moving forward with something. Whatever plan this is for you, it could be with a person, could be with a business, whatever it is. You definitely planned on going in the same direction. You could have even planned to meet in the middle here, but something still needs to be grown. Something needs to be discovered. We do have 7s. I am going to suggest that you are looking at maybe something you've been through before. You've got some experience here, something that's been grown, but a direction. You wanted something to come back to you. Maybe you put something out into the universe and you expected it to come back, and in your recent past, right? So this is what you're just leaving behind. This didn't work out the way you wanted to, or it was really becoming a burden. So a lot of potential here, or growth potential, or abundance potential around the mother, the home, nurturing, females or women in general. This could be mothers, daughters, aunts, sisters, even co-workers, right? Again, general reading. But whoever is, say, a prominent female in your life, for example, it just feels like the recent past, like 3 of Wands over here, right? I want to go in this direction, and then, oh my God, it's so uphill. This is becoming effort. I can't seem to get what I want out of this. This feels like a lot of work. This is wounded soldier energy, typically, right? 9 of Wands. This is feeling like you're just beaten down a little bit here in your recent past. We have some more Wands energy over here, but we have a new discovery. We have a call that you need to make, a judgment that is either being made around the situation, or a judgment that you're being asked to make around a conflict, right? I did mention the 5s, and we have another over here we're going to explore in a moment. So the 5 indicates conflict, but it's good. It's good. You don't want to stay in 4 energy anyway. You want to get out of there. You want to try to move and wiggle and grow. This is a growth opportunity, and you have a chance to do this here. This is a new influence or something to discover, okay? You have to make a judgment call around being willing to move through this conflict. That's it. And it could be small beans here too. We're dealing with something under a 6, the 5s. I mean, it's a little bit chaotic, but a lot can be learned and discovered here. So a judgment call around a little bit of, technically, I find the 5 of Wands to be the most friendly out of all the 5s. This can be friendly competition. But if you're trying to get to the root of something or get together or to the heart of something here, I would try to avoid a sense of competition here. So maybe this is how it's playing out. There is a sense of competition where there ought not to be. So use your judgment wisely around communicating with someone that maybe you're already not close with or having some trouble, say, getting together with, or seeing eye to eye with. We see a lot of nice potential for this working out for you, Taurus, because here in the 3rd to 4th week of the month, here is our second gorgeous King of Pentacles. Again, this is you, with our 6 of Pentacles, right? So this is in the position where how you feel about the situation. No matter what's going on, how you feel about it, there's a lot of hope. There is a lot of love. There is an exceptional amount of healing here, guys. An exceptional amount of healing. So, make a judgment call around this. Maybe forgiveness is needed at this time. Maybe just doing your own inner heart work is very important at this time. But we have a lot of pentacle energy, something in the real world. It feels good. This is a positive give and take. This is with equilibrium. We're going to look at this gorgeous Lover's card with the 2 of Cups right by it, which is how other people are seeing you. I think if you come to terms what it is you want the outcome to be, as opposed to how you're about to go, how you go about it, maybe let someone else lead. But really beautiful energy, guys. Here you have the best of intentions, it looks like. A lot of healing energy for you. Something very stable, very secure, but in the best way. This is growing. This is developing. You're engaging. You're getting something back for what you're providing. And here is our Lovers, right? Gemini ruled Lovers with our 2 of Cups. And this is, a meeting of the heart. This is definitely seeing eye to eye about an emotional issue. Healing could have occurred here by the 3rd to 4th week of April. I'm so pleased to say this for you. A decision around the heart, right? What does your heart want the most? I used to say it was between the heart and the mind, but I really don't think that. I don't think the Lovers is presenting a state of heart and mind. I think it's about getting away from the mind, getting away what you're supposed to think or what you have thought about the situation, and come from and center yourself from a place of love and compassion. So someone is going to be able, there is an equilibrium that's being sorted for you by the end of the month here, folks. Here's our second 5 of Swords, qualified by the Magician. So you have the power again. So major on top of the 5, another major on top of the 5. You have a lot of source energy, a lot of source healing and protection around a disagreement. There is a winning and a losing situation here. 5 of Swords does indicate a losing situation. Someone has to win to lose. But it doesn't have to be that you lose everything. It maybe just means that something had to come to your attention and now you have to apply it. Applying intelligence or information could be necessary at this time. This is in your hopes and fears position. Maybe you just don't want to face something, or maybe someone around you doesn't want to face something. I mean, this is sometimes happens, right? But you could have the magic touch here. You could be able, or the other person you're dealing with around this situation could be presenting themselves or the idea in a way that's more palatable. And then our outcome or advice is this very strong and passionate, both Knight of Wands and King of Wands. We're dealing with some more fixed energy here. So we have Leo, and then we have Sagittarius. So very, very exciting energy. These are very passionate, outgoing, honest, exciting, I would say fun energies here. I think that this could even include a celebration. We're dealing with this Leo, which rules the sun. And then we're dealing with some Jupiter energy here with the Knight of Wands. Of course, that is ruled, Jupiter rules Sagittarius. So once we have like the sun and Jupiter, we have a great deal of jubilation regarding the essence of what's growing here. So Jupiter expands, and then, with the sun-ruled king on top of it, or Leo, I should say, sun-ruled Leo on top of it. Looks like a lot of love, a lot of heart is available to you. So something is definitely going to be solved and healed here. You might have to change your mind about something. You might have to think about something you don't want to. You might have to have a difficult conversation. So nice. Just saw a couple of cards jump out for you. Let's get your oracles for you to polish off your reading for you today. Nothing terribly difficult. In fact, if I remember correctly, I think that March was a little bit, had a little bit more challenges. I think we're maybe turning a page here, which is really nice. Love could just simply be the answer here as well. in terms of being right. I'll take them both. I'm just always nervous I'm going to run out of time, but I will try to take those both. Security is very, very important to the situation. Security can sometimes be confused with inability to grow. So just be aware that what you're secure about isn't holding you back from growth, okay? All right, so let's get into your oracles. We had a couple from each deck. One of my favorite cards from the Healing with the Angels is Enchantment. This is lovely, right? This is where we're looking at this. I would say these energies here. Third and fourth week, guys, is probably going to open up some major doors for you with relation to the heart, give and take potential, seeing eye to eye, having a heart-to-heart conversation, even if it's difficult. Try to do the right thing, you know, and try not to rely on the past or look too much in the past. Maybe don't expect too much. So Enchantment is really nice. This is so glorious. There's some fantasy here as well. So back to the fantasy card, the Seven of Cups. You know, remember that we do live in this practical real world, and sometimes what is actually happening isn't going to look like the movies. So just be aware of that, right? Enchantment and dreams, these are both really related to the Seven of Cups here. So just be aware of what you're dreaming about or fantasizing about is practical and reasonable and rational. When it comes to other, say, agents or beings in your environment, certainly if this is something that you want to bring to fruition, you can certainly do this. If this is a project of yours, I would take, you know, fantasies and dreams and bring them to fruition at this time if it were all up to you. So we have To the Sea and Observer. Observer is asking that you look from a distance, right? We're going to look at the situation or the person or theme here for you. We're going to look at it from a distance. We're going to look at it as objectively as possible. If you can, get someone to chime in who isn't related to the environment, some, you know, third party who can give you some feedback here. Sometimes we're just too close to a situation or a person to see things clearly. Or our feelings are so embedded in it that we can't really, you know, conceptualize a different way of looking at it. So objective observance and then To the Sea. Go with the flow here, guys. Try not to get caught up in something exact or perfect even. Try not to look at things like perfection, whether it's you could be doing this to yourself. You could be saying, I'm not perfect, or something's not perfect enough. Try not to do that because, you know, comparison is the death of acceptance. It's the death of, comparison is the death of acceptance. So, you know, just try, you are just right. And the people in the environment is just right. And you're just going to try to go with the flow and trust yourself that you know what to do next. We have both Snake and Eagle. We have Transmutation and Spirit. I think this could be a major situation for you by the end of the month here where something is transformed. We don't see the Death card here, but we do have Transmutation. So again, looking at the Magician, Spirit could be a big part of this. God, Source, Mother Mary, whoever it is that you pray to or think about when you think of spirituality, could be very prominent for you, right? Transmutation and Source. I would reach out for advice at this time if you are a spiritual type person, or say some prayers or positive affirmations, whatever works for you. And yes, it's time to let the past go here, guys. Release your ex. The time has come to clear your energy, whatever the ex means, right? Old needs and desires, promises, understandings, knowledge, communication. We're going to let that go because it's holding up the present, okay? And we can see this because something is really stagnant at the bottom of all this. And we want excitement. We want to bring passion back. We want to see eye to eye. We need this healing. We need this understanding. So it's time to release your past and clear your energy. Taurus, that is your reading for April. I really hope that you enjoyed it. I love hearing from you guys. So if you have a second, comment below. If you're not already, and if you like my content, please like, share, and subscribe. Do check out your rising and moon sign videos. Until I see you in one of those, take excellent care. Bye for now.